What's going on, guys? Welcome back to 100% Chelsea and welcome to, it was going to be a sofa review of the Tottenham game, but it's kind of grown into something a little bit more. So originally, obviously, we were going to analyse everything that happened, but we feel that a lot of the stuff that's happened has been glazed over in previous weeks, and we feel like it's worth analysing the whole situation. This isn't a crisis video where we're saying everything's going wrong, we need to do all this kind of stuff, blah blah blah, whatever. I think the key thing we need to put forward is, because we've seen a lot of it today, and it's kind of made me a bit pissed off, to be frank.
Chelsea fans are football fans are fickle.
Football fans are fickle, but Mauricio Sarri is doing a superb job. He is. He's doing a superb job. And anyone saying Sarri out and all this kind of stuff, fuck off elsewhere, please. That'd be superb. Yes, I understand that there was a lot of what's the word?
There was tactical mistakes in the game, but that comes from any manager.
Yeah, there were. But I'm talking in general. When Sarri arrived, people were very
scepticism.
There was a lot of scepticism. They were sceptical of what could happen under Sarri. And to be honest, I think to go from a very defensive, lacklustre style of football to a much more aggressive attacking style is going to take time. There's no doubt about that. And I think hindsight is a beautiful thing. Where yesterday, I was very angry. I think fan cams do bring out the instant reaction of people rather than the post-analytical sense.
When you've got time to calm down.
Yeah, now you've had time to think. I still don't understand why we made Son look like Maradona at the 86 World Cup. That is still way beyond me, but we'll come to that. But it's a case of, you can analyse it. Look, for the past few weeks, you look back at previous videos, you look back at what we've all said previously, and the same mistakes kept happening, and we were very lucky to get away with them. I think that was the key thing. And we finally got caught out yesterday. So, where do you lads want to start? I mean, where should we go from here?
My point, Collie, on the scepticism was on like new managers and like Sarri and whatnot. I always go back to Paul Merson and his opinions on Marco Silva when he went to Hull. I believe paraphrasing, but I believe the quote was something along the lines of, "What's he ever done in the Premier League? Nothing." And now, in my opinion, he's one of the most underrated managers in the Prem, and he did wonders for Hull. So, scepticism even from pundits, fans, ex-players alike, it all happens. But just with the game, like as Lewis said, we've just had time to calm down, had time to sort of think, see what other people have said, and some of it's reaffirmed sort of some of the things obviously like people have touched on last night straight after the game. And then other bits you kind of just like think and have a bit of time to like. It's stuff you may have said, like you have time to kind of rethink what you said.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, again, with the usual aspect of me is obviously after the game I do like. Well, I swear a lot normally, but I mean obviously when I'm angry, hits new levels. So for people that were watching yesterday, and for potential brands, I don't actually swear that much normally. No, but it's all the stuff I said. I stand by it, and the first thing I want to touch on, listeners, and then you want to add to that. Do you want anything to all that?
I would say that it's the last couple of games that mainly I think that we're talking about, because I'd say before Burnley everything looked rosy, and especially coming out of Burnley after a performance like that without Hazard even playing, we're all going out there. We come out, we think that we actually look like we can contend for the title, but then over the next couple of weeks you start to see little issues like Everton. Palace, we weren't showing much until Hazard and Kovacic came on. Then we instantly score a minute after we bring the pair of them on. We go on to Bate, where we got the 1-0 win, but it was just slow and there was nothing to it.
That was literally the reason, and it kind of showed in the fact that we literally didn't put anything out.
Yeah, we couldn't. There was barely anything to talk about other than the goal.
Yeah, and we don't just generate shit out, which is I completely agree with. And
exactly, and then you bring it on to Everton. Everton, we drew 0-0. Looked like we could have lost in the first half. We brought it back a little bit in the second half, but we just didn't take our chances. But it's not, like you said before, it's not a crisis. I saw a stat that was coming out today, and that was we've made the second most chances in the league out of everyone else, and I think it's only Man City who are above us. That shows that we are doing what needs to be done. It's just a case of
we need to finish.
It's just really finished. I think maybe it's a case of for Sarri, the players that he has right now just aren't good enough. I feel like over the last few years, a few weeks, it's been a bit obvious that there's a little bit of deadwood in the squad.
I mean, you could argue that point the same with Pep Guardiola. We saw in the first season he was walking the first few games. Ironically, plays Tottenham, gets absolutely torn apart. You know, we've been he was growing out results the same. He didn't quite have the players, and then look what he's done with backing of the club. I think that's the key thing here. I think it's a Chelsea trait a Chelsea trait is to not back the manager after a successful season.
Yeah, I think it's more with us. It's a bit different because I feel like Sarri can get backing, and it's nothing against Sarri, but if you look at Guardiola, and that name has value. You look at some of the players they brought in. It for me, it wouldn't matter necessarily if they're in the Champions League or not. It's you look at Guardiola. He has a name who has value, whether you like that or not. He's a name who has value, and then can bring players of a certain ilk that will then play. Because they'll think I want to play under Guardiola because he knows what he's doing.
No, I don't think anyone. No one's criticising Sarri with this. I think
I think
the most people I've heard some Chelsea fans saying is that Sarri's issue is that he doesn't have a plan B. If the system that works right now isn't working in the game, we don't really seem to change up. You see with Liverpool, they'll put another midfielder forward. City, they will happily transition into any other sort of formation because they got the depth. But you can understand with us, like I said, Deadwood, there isn't that much depth.
I mean, there's that, but at the same time, Italian managers are kind of renowned for not.
Yeah, I say Conte had the same problem.
I know, but I'm not saying I've got an issue.
I mean, yeah, put it this way: Italian managers either have a plan B or they tinker too much. I.e., Claudio Ranieri. There's no plan B. I think the first thing I want to touch on, and I stand by what I said yesterday, and I felt it for weeks. David Luiz, despite having a superb start to the season, your centre half cannot just be good for vision and the odd superb tackle.
Do you want me to? I don't even think he had a great start to the season.
He
was alright for a couple games in the middle, but the thing with David Luiz is it just takes that one lapse of concentration for him. Like I saw a stat after the Tottenham game: 7 out of the 11 league goals he conceded have been all David Luiz's fault.
Yeah, and I've said
either through ball watching, a rash challenge that leads to a free kick that we concede on the set piece, or just completely falling asleep and having a lack of concentration.
Yeah, and this is it. I think centre halves cannot just have they can't just be good for passing. I understand it suits Sarri's system to have a centre half who is, a presence in terms of their ball playing capabilities and moving the ball out the back. But there are times again at the Tottenham game and another game as well where, playing the ball all lovely is great, and I understand we're trying to implement a system, but at the same time we have to be getting results. And if you do need to hoof it, I felt we didn't do that and we should have been doing that. There were times in that game yesterday where even if we'd hoofed it back to Lloris, it'd give us that extra 2-3 seconds to reorganise. But I feel that's
here's the issue though, and it touches into another issue that we were also going to talk about. You could talk about hoofing out forward to our attackers. You look at the attackers. Hazard was so isolated today.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah. We are filming this on Sunday, by the way. This is coming out on the Monday though, so don't worry if the timing's all off. But but he was, and that turns to another point: is we're too over reliant on him. Which is why, for example, if he did leave, we would have to, which is still plausible. It is. I understand what people are saying, like especially you, when you say, if he would have left last summer. Yeah, but he's still in contract negotiations. He's not completely. He might not do it. He might move. He might.
No, we heard the post he said today, right?
No, what did he say?
I don't remember the exact quote, but he more or less said, "There's a chance I could retire at Chelsea. There's a chance I could leave Madrid in the summer." But he has stated that there is a chance that he could end his career.
The main problem we've got is him leaving is not in our hands. It's all down to Madrid and who they want to go for, because they have a lot of options who they can go for. So whether they decide to take him as an option.
I think to an extent it is in our hands, because he said he wanted to see from us more signings. He wanted to see more ambition.
Well, this comes down to another point. We were discussing this just now. Obviously, David Luiz, we feel either play him. I think Cameron said it quite well. Well, it was Ben. Sorry, play David Luiz in central midfield in the defensive midfield role, which we saw under Rafa Benitez. Which David Luiz, behind the scenes, has stated he wants to play there. He has said he wants to play there.
You want him in the Jorginho?
No. What could be potentially the Jorginho role? Either use him as that, or a secondary centre half, because we need to bring someone in. I would, even though he's not had a good season, I wouldn't be completely against using Christensen, because I understand people will already be tapping their keyboards, but I would only consider Christensen because we are trying to implement a new system, and he is a young player who can be integral to that system for years to come.
Yeah.
Much to how Mourinho, for example, when he arrived at Chelsea, made Drogba, Lampard, Terry, Cech the spine of that team and the way that we played for the next decade.
Adding to that, how old is he? He's what,
21, 22.
Exactly.
No, 21. He's literally 1 year older than all of us.
Exactly, that's the thing. David Luiz is what, 32?
Yeah.
Fact is, Christensen at this age, you can allow him to make those sorts of mistakes as long as he can learn from it. But in order for him to learn from it, he has to be given that game time.
Mm-hmm.
So even though he's been a bit iffy this season, not gonna lie, last season he was great until the Barcelona game. He's shown that he can be consistent. I'd be all up for doing it again.
I would be. I mean, leave us down the conversation below. But obviously, January is only around the corner. After Christmas, football Christmas arrives, and you get your advent calendar out every 30 days, of which we will be doing an advent calendar for Christmas. We are. I thought about this today. We need to go through 20. We need to find 25 videos for the past 3-4 years this channel's been running, and we've got to make an advent calendar of the best videos.
I know what I want for Christmas Day.
What do you want? No.
Nah, he's remembered it.
No. Oh yeah, of course I know. Is it?
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
My one.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I thought it might be. No, I'm not having that. I'm kind of wanting to avoid that one. But back to it. Football Christmas is around the corner, and these two have come up with a few players, which, for example, just hypothetically, in a FIFA-ish manner, kind of, all leaning more towards.
Mine was like it had to be roughly 30 mil below because that's any more and it's getting to the point where it's just stupid. Like any more and it's feasible, you could go and offer anyone, and it's getting to the point where you're offering stupid money.
Okay, all right. Then, well, let's go through. You go first. Then give me some of your players which you think could potentially come into that centre half hole for David Luiz.
So the one that I was kind of unsure of because a bit of price and a bit of whether he'd want to come was Nacho Fernandez. Because for me, there's a few things. Number one, he's playing in a team where he's had to deal with coming in having a lot of game time, and he still performs. I know it's Real Madrid, so you could say it's the best team in the world and whatever.
They'd lose 3-0 to Eibar this weekend.
My point exactly.
Was he playing?
I don't think so. No, he wasn't. It was Varane and Ramos.
One of them nominated for a Ballon d'Or. Wow. Okay.
And nothing is he offers a lot of versatility. So, for example, if he played right back a lot, he was first choice right back or in contention for Spain at the World Cup, and he did a job there. He did a good job.
Yeah.
And so, if we ever need him to play elsewhere, he gives us a lot of versatility to play there, and I'd rather him there than Zappacosta. But whatever. Yeah. And for me as well, he's not getting a look in at Madrid, really, unless Ramos or Varane get suspended or injured. And as well, it gets to a point, so at the minute, I'm going to butcher this, but Odriozola is playing a lot for them because
that's actually really good.
Carvajal's injured, I believe. And there comes a point where he might get into the Spain squad as a centre-back, but he won't be starting. And it then becomes a point for him, whereas if I'm getting in an international squad consistently, I've either got to wait till Piqué and Varane retire, not Piqué and Varane, Piqué and Ramos retire, or Piqué's already retired, isn't he? Or whoever it is, Ramos and whoever, and at that point he's getting to late 20s, early 30s, and then at that point he's like, I've only got a couple more years of international football and I'm done. So he could be thinking about moving on to somewhere new, and I think that's why we should go for him.
Nacho Fernandez?
I wouldn't be against it, but I'll level with you, even with, you know how there's been rumours of us getting a transfer ban and everything.
Yeah, there's been that. We didn't even speak about that. Wow.
With the potential of that, I'm not going to lie, if that happens, we're going to have to learn to use our youth. We might as well start now. Andreas Christian is there. I think the money could be spent on other positions that I think we need to strengthen it. And I think they're much more urgent. Okay,
but I mean, you have come up with other options for centre half as well, haven't you? You've been speaking. Just hypothetically, for the sake of this conversation, who would you see as an ideal person to fit into that role? Do you feel Christensen is the man to fill that role?
Yeah, because they're very similar in the way that they play.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that David Luiz likes to venture a lot further forward.
David Luiz likes to do a Hobbit impersonation and go on an adventure.
Basically, he's like the amateur little FIFA player that always wants to run forward with everyone.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, have you thought of anyone else? You said there's one person you want to speak about who you want to get an initial reaction from me.
Oh no, that was an issue, not a person.
Oh, it's an issue.
That was an issue.
Let's talk about that then. So we've spoken about Christensen, Nacho Fernandez, who else? Romagnoli. We spoke about.
You mentioned Romagnoli. The problem is that I mentioned to Luis Jimenez, Atletico Madrid, centre back. Yeah, that
Good luck.
that all hinges around Godin staying, which
Isn't Jimenez's contract up at the end of the season anyway?
I don't know. I know Godin's is, but if he goes, there's not a chance in hell they're letting Jimenez go as well. Apart from that, obviously you've got the obvious, like, because we've been linking with Koulibaly, but then there's other issues with that because of the Napoli ban side.
But I mean, yeah. So there's a few options there. So leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Who do you see as a potential option to fill in that hole for David Luiz? Because I think we can all agree that
it's not good enough.
Yeah, it's not good enough. 7 out of 11 league goals coming down his side. People, no offence to Nini, fantastic content, all that kind of stuff. So there's an agenda against David Luiz, and that's nonsense. There's a straight up statistic to prove that he's not quite got it. I mean, leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. That's not me firing shots. That's me having a conversation with Nini. We've had this conversation many times.
Yeah.
We do speak about it a lot. We are friends, unlike other people. But I want to hear this initial reaction. Go on, give me his.
Something Lewis mentioned earlier about Sarri not having the players, not enough quality. I want to hear from you two. Is this, in the last 5 or so years or so, the worst Chelsea squad?
No.
Last season's was terrible.
Last season's
was so bad. That midfield was just Kante cleaning up errors for an entire season. That was bad.
That's fair.
This looking at the team this season, as a starting 11, 1 or 2 issues.
That's why I said squad. Because I'm talking, and the reason I say this is because I was talking with Jack and a couple of people around us yesterday. You look at that bench. If you look at our starting 11, our best starting 11, the back four we had yesterday pretty much will take David Luiz out, put Christensen in. Midfield three of not Kovacic, probably Barkley, Jorginho and Kante, and then a front three of probably Giroud, Hazard and Pedro as our best 11. Look at that bench, and then look at our reserves. Who can come in and physically make a difference?
I get that, but last season we had practically the same bench,
but without
the worst formation and the worst midfield. So I get where you're coming from. That we see where the problems are with this squad. I wouldn't call it one of the worst though. Like let's be real. The team's been unbeaten for 3 months. We can't.
True.
That's a good point. I mean, yeah, I think that was a bit. I agree. I don't think it's been the worst squad we've seen in a while. I think it does need work. There's no doubt about that. But I think that issue lies within the club. And to be frank, if we haven't replaced Marco Manalo, and I think hindsight is a beautiful thing, we can safely say now that he was not to blame for all of the trouble that was happening with the club. It's all been down to Marina, quite frankly. I think he can still get by a fucking world-class player for £32 million. That's completely other subject. We need to. I think the biggest thing is you just need to replace the director of football. That's something that needs to be discussed. It's been discussed for months. If Sarri has the contract of head coach, I want to know who's making all decisions on signings. Because a head coach is a coach.
And I want to know their qualifications for it.
Exactly. If it's a few months playing football manager, then thanks but no thanks.
Yeah.
But
I think the reason I ask this is just because looking at the Arsenal game today, looking at the Tottenham game, looking at the other teams around us, take City out of it because obviously they've got big credit, so take them out of it. You look at all the rest of the top 6, so and then take us out. You look at the top 4, Liverpool. Look at who they can bring on when they're in a tough situation. You look at the likes of United. Granted, they're playing terrible, but I'd say that's more down to the manager and problems with the team and everything. And you look at who they can actually bring on, the players they've got. They've got Rashford they can bring on, Lingard if he's on the bench. They've got Sanchez if he's on the bench. But if he's in top form, I know he hasn't been. But and then you carry on like Tottenham, Arsenal. Even Arsenal, who are going through a transitional period like us, have got the players like Ramsey, who have got the likes of Ozil was on the bench today, didn't even play.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
No,
it's
but
like Lacazette if he's not starting, so it's like they other teams have got the players, and it's just a couple of tweaks. I feel like yes, we've been unbeaten, but I feel that's more based on our tactical play rather than the players we've got.
I'll agree with you on that to an extent. I do think Maurizio Sarri is a huge reason for the reason why we're undefeated for so long. But that's where it all comes back to what Hazard said at the end of last season. If you want to keep him, he wants to see that ambition. You take a look at it's the same thing Alex Goldberg said in a couple of his videos. You look at, if you take Hazard out of Chelsea and you take the best players out of everyone in the top 6, no one, there is more than one top goal scorer for Manchester City, for Liverpool, for Arsenal, for every other club in the top 6. For us, if you take Hazard out, Willian doesn't contribute enough, Alvaro Morata doesn't contribute enough, Pedro doesn't contribute enough compared to the others.
I think Pedro's not been given a fair opportunity though. I think
I agree.
I think Pedro
last season got injured and then has not been given a chance
I think that even though yesterday he only had a few minutes to do so, yes, he missed a couple of shots. Pedro had more impetus on that game than anyone in that I saw. I understand people said Willian didn't play well. I thought Willian had a decent first half.
Willian had a decent game. He just
doesn't have that final ball.
Yeah, he's just too indecisive on the ball.
Yeah,
no,
but this is it.
That's the same thing we've said for years. I don't know why we didn't sell him in the summer when we had the chance. He turned 30 in August, and we got a 60 million bid in for him. Like really, I'd be surprised if we get half that. And we got fucking 60 million. I heard rumours of a Martial and Willian swap. And we said no. That's the only case when I start getting angry, because Willian, let's be honest, you take a look at it as output season after season after season, he's just inconsistent. But he continues to get away. He's played nearly every game this season, and he barely contributes. I get he might be exhausted because of the amount of games he plays, but the same thing season in season now, inconsistent. Yeah, he still continues to play.
Do you know what the problem is for me? I think it's that Barcelona game. For me, he'll have a game like that all of a sudden.
It's not that Barca game, because he'll have that one game a couple times every season, and that gets him through.
I don't mean in terms of for the fans. I mean in terms of for the board. I feel they'll see him have a few games like that, and all of a sudden they think we'll do better with him than without him. And it's this idea
that their 1 year extensions for players over 30.
I think Alex, as much as he gets a bad rep, I think the one person who summarised this quite well for me personally was Alex. And I think when he said year is 2074, Willian is still on set pieces for Chelsea based on his 15-16 season.
What?
That's what Alex said.
No, repeat it.
So it's the year of 2074.
Yeah.
Willian is still on set pieces for Chelsea based on his 15-16 season. I feel that summarises it quite well. Granted, I don't think slandering is the right term. We're not going after people. We're not. To be honest, for the game yesterday, everyone was shit. I don't think you can specifically.
Like players you can maybe say had a game where they came from.
I'd say just Kepa.
I'd say Kante.
I'd say Kante as well, because he was doing a job for
Kepa and Kante for me are the ones. Kepa's one which I think is going to be has split a lot of people down the middle. I haven't rewatched them yet. I feel the third one he could have done a little bit better, personally.
I'd say even the Tottenham boys who came off and said for the second one that he was poor, even after the game, having rewatched it, said it wasn't his fault.
It wasn't.
No, it was David Luiz.
Luiz was in the way.
Oh yeah, no, the second one, yeah. The second one, yeah. That I don't even talk to me about that. That is, I'm sorry.
For the third one as well.
A P roller. David, mate, 120 quid, £120,000 a week. Listen, as much as we say, we love our players, we will support them, and we want them to do well. But the thing is, we're not just going to sit there like a lot of people do at Chelsea, and some people do, and they sit there and they just say, we should be grateful what we've got. Look, I don't think it's entitling. We're saying we're entitled to success. I'd say that I don't think we'd expect success. I think with the quality of players we have, you should expect a certain level. This isn't 1970 or the 1970s or 1980s anymore. We're not nearly getting relegated to Division 3. This is now a Premier League top 6 club, a club with global calibre, which needs to when people need to see that, and that's just how I feel anyway.
No, I agree with you. It pisses me off when we lose games and you hear some of the older fans just complaining about us who are complaining just because we have high standards of the club. Sorry, the club, we've been, ever since 2003, been winning trophy after trophy after trophy. The standard is raised. And it's no longer acceptable to just get a couple wins and a couple losses here and there. We want to be one of the best clubs in the world. Yeah. Therefore, we have to win every game. And therefore, every time you lose a game, there has to be the question of why.
Yeah, it's a winning mentality. I don't think it's an entitlement. I think it's a base of people, or for me as well anyway. Just in life, I'm very competitive. I'd say I want us to do well. That's just how I roll anyway. But it's kind of one of those. But I mean, we've spoken about Willian, we've spoken about David Luiz, we've spoken about mentality, we've spoken about Kepa. What other problems have you guys wanted to raise up front?
Yeah.
Oh, now we're talking. I saw the question you got sent for Sad Barca's Corner today. You put in mine and Jack's chat.
Oh yeah, where was it?
Someone said I'm lying about the.
Yeah, someone said you were lying about Morata stats. Hold on.
To be honest, I don't know, but I think the fact that people are even sitting there saying, I don't think you even need to read the question, Lewis. We don't need to read the question. The fact that people are sitting there, right? I don't care about lying or whatever. But the fact that people are still finding ground to try and defend Alvaro Morata, I'm sorry. Truth or not truth, or whatever the fucking stat is, which I don't even know which stat they're talking about, but whichever stat it is, or whatever is being said, I quite frankly do not give a shit. Alvaro Morata is a disgrace. £70 million to roll around on the floor. What does he offer? You tell me what Alvaro Morata offers us.
Well, I'll be real. I was going to start the season saying let's give him another second chance, and coming from someone who's saying that there's not enough about him. He's now added offsides to an already big enough list of what he needs to improve on.
And people talk about being born offside. No, that's a positive thing. If you know about Filippo Inzaghi, you know being born offside, as Fergie said, would be a good thing. The man, being born offside with Alvaro Morata isn't a good thing. He was born offside and left there as a child. He was left at the creche, right? I don't know. But listen, put it this way. Get the salt and pepper shakers out, right? Sit him down and go, right, Alvaro, here you go, we'll do it here. Right, there's the last man. Here's the person who's passing to you. Here's you. If you're in line with this, are you there? If you're in line with the guy and he passes it to you, you're not offside. If you're past the guy and he's passing it to you, you're offside. Give him the simple fucking breakdown, right? Do that. I've got an 8-year-old brother who understands the offside rule. I'm pretty sure a 24... No, it's a good thing. I'm pretty sure a 24 or 25-year-old man can understand it. No. Who has 2 kids as well, may I add. So, Alvaro, if you teach your kids football, make sure you know the offside rule first. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I've got to say on Alvaro Morata. He's dog shit. I am done. Simple. I don't care anymore.
No, but that's the thing, and this touches in. I'm gonna end up quoting Alex Goldberg again on this one. He was talking about how Eden Hazard gets double mark, triple mark, quadruple mark because of how ineffective the other players around him are. Morata and Willian. Simply put, Morata, you put a defender on him, anywhere near him, he's not going to do anything. Morata's great in acres of space, and even then he's a bit questionable if you've looked at his old one-on-ones. Fact is, there's too many question marks over this striker, and even then, with the question marks, he ain't got the mentality to fight those question marks either. That's the thing, you look at all of this, 70 million striker, I was trying to get back into the top 4. It's not working anymore.
I was going to say, I'm going to go back to the Wolves game for the Tottenham Wolves game. We're playing against the 21-year-old. Granted that he's had good things made about him. He was man of the match for Argentina with Foy. Yeah. But you look at the Wolves game. They have a striker up front who's a similar build to Morata, similar sort of play. He gets the ball in. Not in play in terms of like he'll hold. Yeah, but he's not the most mobile of players, similar to Morata. You look at what he did against Foyth. He made him look bang average. If you can't, Jimenez is not. He's a good player, but he's not. If you're getting paid 70 million, people must think you're good.
Jimenez or Foyth?
No.
Oh, Jimenez as in.
Yeah, Jimenez is in.
Yeah,
Jimenez is in. He should theoretically, with the money that's been paid for both of them, not be at Alvaro Morata's level. Theoretically.
Yeah.
Therefore, if he can make Foyth look bang average simply by trying to take him on, take the ball past him and whatnot, why can you not do that? When you're in a similar build, you play a similar way, and you're in a better team, for Christ's sake.
Good sensory, man. Mate, proud of you.
No worries. It's like, you can see that, yes, he plays well. Like, sometimes he had a good game against Palace, had a good game for Argentina, but if you put a bit of pressure on him, he'll make mistakes, he'll give away penalties, he'll give away fouls, he'll make silly mistakes. Yeah, but it's like, but you can do that. Put a bit of pressure on him, for Christ's sake. Don't
No, but this
just
is it.
play
Alvaro
crap.
Morata is supposed to be a fantastic player who's won Champions Leagues and understands the game. People seem to keep forgetting. Alvaro Morata at Juventus only scored 8 goals in 2 years. 8. And we bought off the back of 1 good goal scoring season. Granted, I was one of those people that was hyped. That's because I didn't do the research enough.
Yeah, I'll say
we all
fault.
Yeah. Have you seen have you tried to look back at those videos?
God, I don't want to look back at those videos, quite frankly, Lewis. I just, it's just a case of, for me, Alvaro Morata is just dead weight. And there's a case of with Torres, I think there was always a case of you had hope because he had that backstory, he had that mentality about him. Alvaro Morata is a bitch. I'm sorry, he's a fucking bitch.
I think Torres had was the fucking cojones to actually work for the team.
Yeah.
No, but I think some Chelsea fans tried to defend him by saying by this point last season he had less goals than he had now.
That's
wait. But The issue with that is that, like I said at the start, look at the amount of chances that we've created. Only Man City have created more. You look at all the chances we're making, the chances that are going to him. He's getting more chances than he did last season when we were playing in a more defensive system. Of course, he's going to score more, but that doesn't mean he's playing well. Like, if you take a look at the Spurs game, if you take a look at his performance, so many times he's just disappearing.
Yeah, no, but that's fine. If he was disappearing but scoring goals, I don't think we'd have an issue.
But
It's the fact he's just disappearing. He is. And people, the one thing, there was a person that was sat behind me, you must have heard that conversation, because you were 2 rows behind me.
I kind of heard bits of it, but not all that much.
Some guy saying that Morata was on a good goal scoring form, he deserved another opportunity, blah, 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 blah. Morata was not on good goal scoring form. He scored at Burnley, yes, and he scored at Palace. Okay? He failed to score against Derby, he failed to score against Everton, and he failed to score against someone in the Europa League. He scored what? He scored a tap-in, I think. Or he might not have scored, but it was something.
He wasn't playing against Barcelona.
It was Vidi. He scored, but he still didn't play well.
All due respect, Vidi, yeah, he scored, but he didn't build on it. And this is the same thing I've been saying all fucking year. If he scores goals, build on that performance. Don't just run your mouth, which is all he does. He just runs his mouth. He talks the talk, but he can't walk the walk. And if you pay someone for 70 million, so if you pay 70 million for that, fuck me, I'd happily pay 130 million more. Hit that 100 million figure.
But this is why I don't think we'll get a new striker in January, because the amount of money we've spent on him, some cost.
You need to cut your losses. Sometimes
you just cut our losses, but even in January we're not going to do it because we won't get the right replacement. Not at that time.
But I still reckon there are other people out there who you get as a good stopgap. Callum Wilson. I would love Callum Wilson at Chelsea. Just saying.
A stopgap, fair play. But how much would he cost, and would the club be willing to pay it, especially in January?
Well, he'd probably be about 40 million, I reckon. But
you look at his partner, King, because he's going to be considerably cheaper.
But then you look at the money we spend for that, and then you think, would it not be better to wait 6 months, spend that money and more money on top that we've earned from the previous season, and then use that to get a striker?
Yeah, but you look at the summer, you look at who's going to be moving. Callum Wilson could feasibly in the summer be moving somewhere else.
Would Callum Wilson be a starting striker for you?
At Chelsea right now, yes.
No,
anywhere else.
As in the perfect starting striker for you. I wouldn't want him starting games regularly. You'd want someone of higher quality than Callum Wilson.
Yeah, but of course.
Come on.
Of course you would.
Really?
What?
You want Callum Wilson as a starter?
Yeah.
Like, stop, mate. I know you like get torn apart in the comment section, but fuck me, you're going real brave here. What?
I'd take Callum Wilson.
Yeah, I'd take him, but I wouldn't have him as a regular starter for the foreseeable future. I'd have him short term.
If he was cheap.
If he was, 40 million, I'd take, yeah.
I wouldn't.
No, but I'd save that money for the summer.
Lewis,
This is a transitional season for me.
Find me a player which you can get for less than 40 million.
My thing,
But that's why I'm saying I would
15
rather
million.
wait till the summer,
No,
but then get one now.
Yeah, but 40 million is a new 15 million pounds.
the problem is with the summer.
It is a new stopgap price.
I get that, but I don't want to buy a stopgap. I would rather wait till the summer.
Okay, let me put this out. Who are you getting in the summer then? Who are you getting in the summer then? What are you getting in the summer?
Cardiff for me.
Why do you want to go Real Madrid at that point?
Very good shout.
Why
Someone else.
wouldn't he? Fair play, but you got to look at him as an option.
Yeah,
Right
but
now-
who else then? Who else?
Right. Off the top of my, I'm not gonna lie, Icardi was my first choice. But you have to wait until the summer to see who is there. What strikers want to go? What strikers are interested?
There's that talk of that Piatek kid, but again,
He's 19,
it's one.
for Christ's sake, and he's
and
had
there's
one good
one-
season.
exactly, this is it. And it's the same talk people banged on about Belotti. Belotti had one good season for Torino. The same guys again for Ciro Immobile. Ciro Immobile. No, wait. Immobile left Torino, went to Dortmund and went to Sevilla and did fuck all. So he's been in 3 of Europe's top leagues. He's only performed in 1. Granted, he's now settled at Lazio.
Yeah.
He's not going to move again. I would not take the risk on Immobile after previous performances in other leagues.
That's what I'm saying about like getting Callum Wilson as a regular starter, because you know he's done it in the Premier League for, I'm gonna say 1.5 seasons, because he was injured for a lot of his I think the first season. But up until he got injured, he was doing bits for Bournemouth, and it was that injury that stopped him.
What was his numbers, son? If you remember.
I can't remember.
Callum Wilson's numbers. You keep talking, I'll get them up. Go on, you.
Because I could be wrong, but I seem to remember him doing bits, and then he got injured, and it all went horribly wrong for him. But then I think in one of his first games back, he got a hat trick. So.
I get that, but you got to look at it for the case of, let's use, because Diego Costa has been used as a what's it called? He's been used to gauge how well Morata's been for Chelsea. Compare Callum Wilson and tell me what you'd be able to bring to Chelsea. Because I'm not going to lie, there'll be a lot of people who are watching who's going to say the same thing. What would you say Callum Wilson would be able to bring us that would be completely different?
Do you know the first thing? He'd bring confidence. You can see on the football pitch and no one wants to pass Morata. You can see it's becoming a detriment to our play because we're basically playing with 10 men, and it's with Wilson they wouldn't have that. With Wilson they know what he's capable of. What they should do. If they don't, then
as of right now, sorry to interrupt. As of right now, I'm on Transfer Market. Right as we look here, there you can see it for yourself. According to Transfer Market, as of October 2017, Callum Wilson's market value is 15 million euros. I don't know how much that is. This is Callum Eddie Graham Wilson. I want him because he's called Eddie Graham. Can you have those? Imagine those middle names. What a name, Eddie Graham. Jesus. Graham! And he's from Coventry as well, so nice. hard note. But I think, let me just see if we get stats. But yeah, 15 million quid. Premier League this season, 13 starts. I believe that's 6 goals and 5 assists. If I'm correct, does that mean assists? I have no idea what that means.
assists.
Yeah, so 6 goals, 5 assists in 13 games. That's a contribution every.
That's nearly a contribution, depending on like how many.
191 minutes for goal. 191 minutes.
Not gonna lie, they are good numbers. I'll give you that, but you just gotta look at the case of. I'm not gonna lie, it's Bournemouth who have had a great start to the season, but Callum Wilson does not have a lot of attributes of flex. Not in terms of qualities, in terms of what he's done.
For £15 million, probably.
For £50 million as a stopgap, I'll take it.
Yeah, he's probably going to be a little bit more because he's English and he's first choice.
As well, you've got a few games till January.
Yeah, so. And I'd say probably about 30 as that stop. £30 million for a stopgap. Not only that, he's English. Yes, he will play at Chelsea. He will be regular. He'll be a cup striker. If you get a card as an option as well. If you have Giroud, there's those 3 options. You've got a big man, a little fast man, and a little man. Bloody hell, all bases are covered. Alvaro Morata, you've got a donkey if you want to keep up with that as well. But that's a zoo animal. That's not actually a player. So, no, it's up to you. But to be honest, I would take 35 million from Morata. I quite frankly, I've had it up to here. I would literally, put it this way, I'd take a packet of peanuts from Morata. I would take a packet of peanuts and I would drive him to the airport, even though I don't have a licence. I just literally cannot be asked. I cannot be asked. I literally do not want to see that guy's name until he leaves, or there's a piece saying someone's interested in him. Fucking send him to Coventry. I don't know. Put him in the shit. Because he needs to fucking bit. He needs to hit the gym, to be honest, Alvaro Morata. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. How long are we going for anyway?
Not clear.
Bloody hell, we've been going for a little
37 minutes.
I think, should we leave it there? I think we've addressed everything, haven't we?
Yeah, do you want to bring Hazard point up or not?
I think we
covered it. We've covered it. Our Hazard's back to isolated, he needs some help. We've covered it there. But guys, is there anything you want to add to that? No?
Maybe, no, possibly, I don't know.
Okay, well, we'll think about it. If you do have any more questions about Hazard and his isolation or anything we've said in this, leave it down in the comment section below. Obviously, make sure you subscribe to 110 Chelsea. All social links are down in the description on Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter and Instagram. Obviously, we are also filming Sad Bastards Corner again on Tuesday. That's Lewis and Jack's show, and obviously Scott is the cameraman for that. So make sure you leave questions down for that as well. Make sure you put SBC in front of that as well, so we know those are the questions that you want to put forward, and we will answer any of them on that show. But guys, listen, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't been watching and you've been listening, fair play. It is a very long show. Other than that, guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, check out these lads' socials, check out my socials, check out the channel socials, and we'll see you next time. Take care.